about the topic vaginal infection. This topic is for BSc third year. So let us see the definition of vaginal infection. It is defined as overgrowth of bacteria which is normally present in the vagina. Okay? So if there's any bacterial growth in the vagina, then we can say it is vaginal infection. And because of this bacterial growth, there will be infection, there will be inflammation in the lining of the tissues of the vagina, that is called vaginitis. Okay, vaginitis is inflammation in the vagina. So because of the infection, there will be inflammation. Okay, and patient may have various signs and symptoms. Okay, like itching, burning, micturition, then small there will be rashes. Okay, and there will be other signs and symptoms. So there are many types of vaginal infection that is based on the microorganism that is causing the infection. Okay, so microorganism can be like bacteria or virus or fungi. Okay, so the types of vaginal infection based on the causative organism. Okay, so there are bacterial vaginosis. Okay, then there is trichomoniasis vaginosis, and there is candidiasis. Okay, so these three are the types of vaginal infection. So let us see the bacterial vaginosis. The causative organism is the overgrowth of Gardnerella gonococcus. Okay, so this is the bacteria. Gardnerella gonococcus is the name of the bacteria which is causing bacterial vaginosis. Okay, that is infection of the vagina because of bacteria. Next is trichomoniasis vaginosis. The causative organism is Trichomonas vaginalis. Okay, it is a parasitic or protozoal infection. Okay, so this is not a bacterial infection. This is a protozoal or a parasitic infection. And the third type of vaginal infection is candidiasis infection. Okay, so the main organism is the fungus, and the name is the Candida albicans. Okay, so Candida albicans is the fungi. Okay, so it causes the candidiasis vaginal. So these are the three types of vaginal infection. Okay. Now coming to the risk factors, who are at a higher risk for developing any one of the types of vaginitis. First is the poor personal hygiene. Okay, people who are not females who are not taking bath regularly or not wash the perineal area after passing of urine. Okay, so they will develop infection. Next is obesity. Obesity can also be one of the risk factors for vaginitis. Then using too much of soap. Okay, so using too much of soap in the perineal area also can cause vaginitis. Then uncontrolling diabetes, wearing clothes that are too tight. Okay, we should not wear too tight the jeans which are very tight also. And females who are using feminine deodorant or douches and any scented sanitary products, those also can cause vaginitis. Okay. Next risk factors is the excessive use of antibiotics and hormonal contraceptives. So too much of antibiotics also it will suppress the immune system. Okay, so therefore the infection also the rate of infection can be very high. Next, stress. Stress also can reduce the immune system, and therefore infection chances is very high. Changes in sexual partners, sexual contact with with multiple partners also, that can lead to infection of the vagina. Unprotected sex with someone who is infected with sexually transmitted disease. Then pregnancy, recent childbirth or menopause. Okay, so during normal delivery also, if sterility is not being maintained by the doctor and nurses, then patients can develop vaginitis. Then inadequate sleep because of stress, that also can decrease the immune system of the patient. And poor nutrition. Poor nutrition also is one of the risk factors for vaginitis. Then what are the signs and symptoms? So based on the types, okay, based on the types of vaginitis, we will see the sign and symptoms. So in addition to itching, you know that there will, okay, so the signs and symptoms of vaginitis, the common signs and symptoms are itching, there will be burning sensation, and there will be redness. And other symptoms will include based on the types of vaginitis. Okay, so you will see the vaginal discharge. Okay, so based on the consistency मतलब कितना thickness है, कितना thin है. Okay, so in bacterial vaginosis, the discharge is very thin. Okay, then in trichomoniasis, it is frothy. Frothy means like there is froth, the soap. Okay, you can see bubbles kind of thing. So that will be seen in trichomoniasis. And in candidiasis, there will be thick cottage cheese. Okay, so it's like it is it's like formation of cheese. Okay, so that is in candidiasis. Next, the color. Okay, in bacterial vaginosis, the discharge is gray or white. Trichomoniasis, the discharge is yellow, and in candidiasis, it is white. Then the odor or the smell. Okay, in bacterial vaginosis, it is fishy odor. Trichomoniasis also there is fishy odor, but in candidiasis there is no odor or there is no abnormal smell. Next, to check the dysuria and dyspareunia. Okay, if in bacterial vaginosis, difficulty in passing urine, pain while passing urine, and pain while having sexual intercourse, it is absent, mainly absent or mild in bacterial vaginosis. In trichomoniasis, it is present and it is severe, and in candidiasis, it is present. Then other signs and symptoms, like in trichomoniasis, what you will see is the strawberry shape of the cervix. Okay, when the doctors will perform vaginal inspection, okay, examination, then we will check the cervix, the color of the cervix, and there will be a strawberry shape of the cervix. So it's like this. Okay. In candidiasis, a discharge which is sticking to the wall of the vagina, cervix, blood by trial to remove it. Okay, so they will, the discharge will be sticking to the walls of the vagina and the cervix also. And when we try to remove them, then there will be blood. So these are some of the signs and symptoms of vaginitis. Okay, based on the category, Now coming to the diagnostic test, okay, or the diagnosis of vaginal infection. So the diagnostic criteria, okay, we will base it on history, clinical examination of discharge, and color. Okay, so there are based on the classification of vaginitis, that is bacterial vaginosis, trichomoniasis, and candidiasis. Okay, and this is normal. So let us see with the first category, that is history. Okay, so normal female patient, there is no history of vaginitis. In bacterial vaginosis, there will be discharge, bad odor, okay, like fishy smell. Possibly after intercourse, discharges are thin and grey-white. Then in trichomoniasis, there is frothy discharge, bad odor like fishy smell, then pain while urinating, okay, that is dysuria, and the discharge is yellow-green color. And in candidiasis, there will be itching during discharge, clumpy white without odor, and it is cottage cheese. So it's like cheesy, thick cheese. So this is the history. Now coming to so that was this is the history and also the clinical examination of the vaginal discharge. Okay. Next, coming to the color. Normal, there is no color, it is clear. Whereas in bacterial vaginosis, it is grey-white, trichomoniasis, yellow-green, and candidiasis, lumpy white. Okay, so based on the color, based on the type of discharge that the doctors are seeing while having vaginal inspection, then we can distinguish what type of vaginitis the patient is having, whether it is bacterial vaginosis or trichomoniasis or candidiasis. Then there's another test apart from inspection. It is called whiff test. Okay, so here the doctors will use potassium hydroxide to detect which type of infection the patient is having. Okay, so 2 drops of potassium hydroxide with concentration 10% on an even culture. Okay, on the when we take a sample of the vaginal discharge, then with that we will add 2 drops of potassium hydroxide with a concentration of 10%, and then we will detect the type of infection by seeing the color and the odor. Okay, the smell and the color, we will detect whether the patient is having any bacterial vaginosis or trichomoniasis or candidiasis. Next, what are the complications of vaginitis? First important is the pelvic inflammatory disease. Okay, because vaginitis, it starts from vaginitis. Okay, infection in the vagina. From there, it will spread to the cervix. Okay, so there will be infection in the cervix. Then it will spread to the uterus, then to the fallopian tubes, and then to the ovaries. And from the ovaries, it can spread to the other parts of the body. So pelvic inflammatory disease is one of the most important complications of vaginitis. Next, HIV infection. Third, persistent discomfort, because there will be itching, rashes, burning sensation, difficulty when passing urine, pain while urinating. So this is also complication. And infertility. Okay, so when there is infection in the uterus, when there will be infection in the fallopian tubes and ovaries, then there can be chances for infertility. Next, coming to the treatment. Okay, so the treatment here, so first is the trichomonas. Okay, in trichomonas or bacterial infection or vaginosis, we will give the patient metronidazole. Okay, or we call it as Metrogyl. So we will give 2 grams in a single dose. During the first trimester of pregnancy, this drug is avoided. Instead, we will give Tidadine or Trichoforan vaginal pan-alt. Okay, so instead of giving Metrogyl in pregnancy, we will give Ditadine. Okay, but for those females who are not pregnant, then we can give Metrogyl tablet form or injection. That is 2 grams in a single dose. Next is the candidiasis. Okay, in candidiasis, we will give oral fluconazole. Okay, or tablet ketoconazole. Okay, or fluconazole, we call it Deflucan. Okay, this comes in a tablet, 150 mg single dose. Okay, so in case of candidiasis, we will give this tablet, and in case of trichomonas or bacterial vaginosis, then we will give Metrogyl. Next, coming to the nursing management. Okay, so nursing management is categorized into primary level, secondary, and tertiary. So let us see the primary level, that is where we try to prevent. Okay, preventive measures are to be educated to the patient. So we have to educate that we have to avoid any over-the-counter drugs. Okay, then maintain good personal hygiene. Perineal hygiene should be maintained. Should wear cotton undergarments. Okay, avoid any tight-fitting, tight jeans or tight clothing. Then eat a well-balanced diet to increase the nutritional level in the body, and get plenty of rest. Okay, because inadequate sleep also can lead to vaginitis. So we have patient should get rest. Then change the undergarments daily. Okay, after washing of the perineal area. Then remove the vaginal hair regularly. Okay, then eat yogurt daily. Okay, to decrease the risk of candida infection. Then avoid stress. Okay, perform yoga or bed rest. Then avoid obesity. Sleep well. So these are the primary interventions. Next, coming to the secondary level. Okay, so in secondary level, early detection and early management is required for the patient. So for early detection, there will be screening of the infected person. Okay, we will then vaginal examination of the high-risk patient and screening for means with infection. So patients with signs and symptoms of vaginitis, they are to be screened. Okay, they are to be examined by having a vaginal inspection. So early detection is very important to prevent further complications. Next, coming to the tertiary prevention. Okay, tertiary prevention, number one is correction and prevention of deterioration of disease state. If patient is having any diabetes mellitus or having any autoimmune diseases, so we will try to treat them first. Okay. Next, appropriate methods of cleaning during infection. So proper perineal hygiene should be maintained. Patients with um, urinary catheters in the hospital, they should be given perineal care daily. Okay, catheter care should be performed daily by using sterile technique. And in case of trichomonas and bacterial vaginitis, okay, uh, proper sterile techniques should be followed while cleaning the perineal hygiene. Okay, we can give injection metrogyl, metronidazole, or we can give in tablet form. Then the husband should be treated also. Okay, not only the female should be treated, but if the females are having sexual contact with their husbands also, then the husband should be treated also, because of them the female is having infection. Then there should be follow up. Okay, after the doctor's visit. Then periodic checkup should be there. Should teach the patient appropriate method for cleaning the perineal hygiene or personal hygiene, and to avoid any recurrent infection. Okay, so these are the tertiary prevention. So I hope this is clear about the nursing management. Okay. So thank you, class. I hope you've understood about vaginal infection. It is a very simple topic, and it is a very important topic also, because it can lead to pelvic inflammatory disease. So thank you, class.